the lesson, by the end of the lesson, I will be able to find the circumference of a circle when given the diameter and or the radius. There are 3 vocabulary terms that are really important for you to know. The first is circumference. You might want the circle drawn also, but circumference is the distance around the edge of a circle or any curvy shape in that matter. And it's just a type of perimeter. The second vocabulary word is the radius. The radius is the distance from the center to the edge. So notice that it comes from the center of the circle and goes to the edge. And the last one is the diameter. And the diameter starts at one side of the circle, goes through the center, and ends on the other side. To find circumference, or to find the perimeter of the circle, there are 2 formulas that you can memorize or know. The first one is circumference equals pi times diameter. You're going to see this written as C equals d pi or C equals pi d. Either one of those is okay. Either one of them means the same. You most likely are going to see this written. The other equation is circumference equals 2 times pi times radius. And you're going to see this written as circumference equals 2 pi r. I personally like this one better. And the reason I like this one better is because it is different, it's more different when I'm memorizing than the area formula for a circle. This equation for circumference is more common, okay? So you can choose either one, it doesn't matter, I'll show you how to use both. The first example is the circle with a radius of 11. So r equals 11 feet. I know that it's a radius because it starts at the middle and it goes towards the edge of my circle. There are 2 ways that we can answer this using 2 different formulas. So the first one is give an exact answer. And when I give an exact answer, in my answer, right, the answer will include pi, right? You're going to see pi in my final answer. So my equation that I'm going to use is circumference equals pi times diameter. So I'm going to substitute in what I know. So I'm going to find the circumference. I know pi, and diameter, or radius, times 2 is going to give me 22. So this equals my diameter. So I'm going to substitute 22 in here. So giving an exact answer, my exact answer is 22 times pi. And because pi is an irrational number, I'm going to leave it written as its symbol. So my final answer is going to be 22 pi. And then I need my units of feet. My units of feet are not squared because it's a distance, it's not an area. So this is my final answer, 22 pi. Now, there is another way to write, and this is not an exact number because I'm estimating pi at 3.14. So I'm going to use the same formula, C times pi d, and I'm going to substitute the 2 things that I know, the 3.14 in for pi, and I am going to use my diameter of 22. So I'm actually going to multiply these 2 things together. And 22 times 3.14 is going to give me 69.08 feet. So notice how 69.08 is about 3 times more than 22. right? It's a little bit more than 3 times because of 0.14, right? But it's about 3 times as much. So the answer in blue, 22 pi, is an exact answer, and 69.08 is an estimate because we rounded off pi at 3.14. Our second example is our radius of 8. This one I'm going to use the equation c equals 2 pi r. So I'm going to substitute what I know. C equals, I know 2, it says exact, so I'm going to leave pi, and my radius is 8. When I multiply these two things together, actually 3 things, I am going to get a solution of 16 pi. I'm going to leave pi alone. I'm not going to multiply it together because I want it to be an exact answer. I was going to write feet, but it's actually meters. So use 3.14 to estimate the pi. So I'm just going to take 16 pi, right, and I'm going to multiply 16 times 3.14. And 16 times 3.14 is 50.24, and I'm not going to forget my units. So the top one, 16 pi, is an exact, and 50.24 is an estimate. This, all the way across my circle, is my diameter. So I am going to use C equals pi d. I'm going to substitute what I know in. This is an exact, so I'm going to leave pi alone, and my diameter is 8. So all I have is 8 pi, and I need to write my units of yards. That's my exact answer. If I used the same equation and I wanted to estimate, I'm going to substitute 3.14 in for the symbol of pi, and I'm going to multiply it by 8 to get a circumference of 25.12 yards. Last example, I'm going to have the diameter again, and I have a diameter of 16.8. I'm going to use the second equation of 2 pi r, and that means I'm going to figure out what the radius is. So I'm going to have to do 16.8 divided by 2, and 16.8 divided by 2 is 8.4. So C equals 2 times pi. I'm leaving pi alone because it's an exact, and my radius is 8.4. If I multiply 8.4 times 2, I get the diameter of 6.8. This is why I am okay with C equals pi d as the equation that you remember for circumference, because if I have the diameter already, then I don't need to find the radius to then plug in to C equals 2 pi r. So if you always use this equation, you'll have a significant difference between the area of a circle and a circumference of a circle, because the circumference of a circle's equation has a diameter in it. And when we get to area of a circle, it's going to have a radius. So it'll be an easy way for you to tell the difference. So my final answer is 16.8 pi, and my units are meters. Using 3.14, I'm just going to take 16.8 and I'm going to multiply it by 3.14, and my final solution is going to be 16.8 times 3.14, sorry, I'm using my calculator, 52.75. And there's actually a 2 right here, but I'm going to round to the nearest hundredth and leave the 2 off. So 57.75 meters. Here's a fun fact for you. If you want to check your answer, right? If you want to check to make sure that you are correct, right? Or where pi comes from, right? Pi comes from taking the circumference of your circle, dividing it by the diameter, and then you're going to get 3.14159 on and on and on and on. So if you want to check your answer, you can always take your circumference divided by your diameter, and you should get pi.